Oh, there we are. Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. Happy Friday. Um, just like wash my face, so my beard is starting to get to that point where it's getting out of control. Let me just kill the volume on my phone. Okay. All right. So anyway, I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys have had a good week. It is the weekend. Uh, Obviously, officially the start of the weekend. Can I help you? Why are you rubbing yourself on me, Ella? Anyway, before we get into the stream, I want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat and, oh, excuse me, no nastiness, no racism. If you can't abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here because we are not going to have it. So, we want to have a good chat. We want to discuss some things, and we want to go from there. So I just had somebody sent me a message that a ship that was bound for the United States was seized by Iran, and so we're going to talk about that a little bit, and we're going to talk about the calm before the storm, which is going to be the topic of this video. So we're going to get into all that, but I want to talk about this latest thing too. So this is the fifth time in 2 years that a ship has been seized by Iran. And a lot of times it's done, yeah, it was an oil tanker that was headed for Houston, right? Uh, a lot of times it's done for grandstanding, just, exerting their power. And there's a couple of things recently that the United States implemented. And so this could be like retaliation type of thing for that. And like one of the things we put some sanctions in against the Iranian National Guard, or not, their private, you know, uh, military folks. Um, Iranian National Guard, not national, it's not National Guard, but it's the something Guard. I can't think of what they're called, but anyway, but we just put some sanctions. The United States did like 2 days ago against that, and so this ship was just seized. Republican Guard. Thank you very much, Karen. I appreciate you. I couldn't. It was there, but it wasn't there. One of those kind of deals. Um, yep, the Iranian Republican Guard. Yep. So thank you for clearing that up. So that's what I love about you guys. Wherever I can't remember, somebody in the chat knows exactly what I'm talking about. You have to speak Ed because it's all over the place. So uh, appreciate that. Um, but anyway, there is, like I said, there's a lot of games that are always going to be played. But now these type of things, these type of incidents, could accelerate into something more. That it could be something that starts a chain of events that doesn't end well. And so those things you have to be really, really careful with. And that those are things that we have to pay attention to. We have to watch those things and you know Biden doing nothing. Well, imagine that, right? But yeah, it's just so there. We got to wait and see what's going on. The U.S. said that it was the Iranian Navy that did it. They did it with a helicopter, with their commandos, took the ship. So again, these are just more games being played, and so we'll have to see where this goes, where it leads. But again, this was in international waters. It was after the reason that the Iranians seized the ship was after a the oil tanker had hit an Iranian ship, and I guess there's a couple of people missing, but there's always those harassment things that they're doing. It's all games. It basically comes down to. I've said this before, guys, and I'm going to say it again. Okay, Iran is not a threat to the United States of America, just like North Korea is not a threat to the United States of America, because they know Both of them, Iran and North Korea, know that in a blink of an eye, we could turn them into a parking lot. And they know that. So there's a lot of games that are played, and those type of things. That's just something that's always going to happen. It's always going to be there. And so just, putting it out there. But again, yeah, poking the bear. Exactly. It's just, there's a lot of games being played, and so that is definitely something to watch, obviously, to see what's going to happen with that. Will that accelerate? Could that turn into something else? Well, absolutely it could. It doesn't mean that it's going to. Yet at Iran is very close to nuclear weapons. Well, prep rebel, so here, let's talk about that for a second. So you know I will put it like this. I believe that if they got too close to developing nuclear weapons, there might be more accidents that happened in their facilities that have happened before. Not saying that Israel had anything to do with it, but I'm not saying Israel didn't have something to do with it. If you guys remember when their top scientists, are murdered, those type of things, those are, you know, speculation that maybe Mossad and Israel would be behind something like that. I'll just put it like this: Israel is not going to allow Iran to gain nuclear weapons for its own self-preservation more than anything else. So, and Israel has the United States backing them. They've always had the United States backing them. So they're not going to play. And I'm going to tell you what, there's a big difference. Okay, and I'm just going to and I got nothing against either group. Okay, so I'm just going to put it out there ahead of time. But there's a big difference between a Jew and an Israeli. You don't want to screw with Israel. Israel is no joke. They don't play. They've never played ever since they became a country, and they are no joke. So there's a huge, huge difference from, we have obviously a lot of Jewish people in the United States, but they're not Israelis. Israelis are a different breed. So that's just my take on that. All the respect in the world for them, because like I said, they're not going to take anybody's crap, and I personally I respect that. I respect that. So, but anyway, so topic of the video. Let's get into that. Okay, what are we at? 302 in the chat already, and we're only at 89 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that ahead of time. Again, it really makes a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. And so thank you ahead of time for that reason as well. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. So, all right, calm before the storm. I don't know if you guys have noticed. Now, there's always little stuff going on, but it seems to me, and like I said, I'm just spitballing here. I look at the situation and I make an assessment and I just kind of go, that's interesting. Okay. What I'm noticing is it seems to be a lull right now. Not a whole lot happening. I mean, you still got, the war going on with Ukraine and Russia. Recently Russia had deployed ships to the Pacific Ocean, or not ships, I'm sorry, submarines to the Pacific Ocean, which is, the West Coast, and nuclear submarines. So, you have to pay attention to those things because you don't know what's going on. Now they can call it whatever they want to call it. Are so the in the back of my mind, I go, okay, are chess pieces being moved into place? If you remember, one of the things that was recently talked about, we are sending a nuclear submarine over to be over near South Korea, okay, to basically be a deterrent, if you will, to North Korea. But I also find it interesting at the same time that that's right near China as well. So again, are pieces being put in place to be able to do what needs to be done? Uh, the buildup of bases again in the Philippines. I've talked about that in a previous live stream. How we have made a contract with of existing bases to use. I think it's four bases, and they just all happen to be on that outer edge of the Philippines, facing China. So again, are things being put in place? Are we preparing to do what we need to do? I believe that that's exactly what's happening. So the calm before the storm, if you will. Uh, you know, how would World War III look? Right. Let's look at this. Okay, it could be as simple as you know two planes in the air from opposing countries. We just had a confrontation where we had to a Russian plane was over near Alaska, and we just shooed them off, if you will. Those type of confrontations can accelerate and turn into something more. If a plane gets shot down, uh, you know, do you lose face if you don't do anything, or if do you need to, have some kind of reply to that, or and those type of things can set a chain of events off that could lead to something catastrophic. I mean, it is it is a very bad situation. Um, so those are things that you got to pay attention to. You just got to pay attention to. Uh, and like I said, it's just to me right now it seems, and I'm not saying again, I'm not saying that this is what's happening, and this is I don't do all that gloom and doom type of stuff, and I don't believe it's counter. I think it's counterproductive, to be honest with you. But it seems like right now we have this lull happening. And I hope that people aren't taking that as a false sense of security. To me, I would be. Did you hear about two Blackhawks in Alaska that crashed into each other in a training exercise? I had not. I think. Well, I might have heard about that, Brian. I'm not sure. I know that I'd heard of some kind of a crash. So, but I again going back to what I was saying. I think right now we're having that calm before the storm comes, and when that storm comes, it's not going to be pretty, and it's going to, a nuclear war would be absolutely devastating to the planet, just devastating to the planet, and not a good thing in any way, shape, or form. It's just there's no one wins. Okay, that at the end of the day, guys, no one wins. When that type of thing happens, it's just going to be a very, very bad thing, and I think we need to continue to be vigilant, to be as ready as we possibly can be. We are on a slow downward spiral. The plane has lost all engines. I don't disagree, Frank. I've been saying that we're on a slippery slope and we're on the downhill slide of it for a long time. Uh, and I think the ALM before the storm is before us, but I truly hope I'm wrong. Exactly. Nobody wins. Exactly. Yeah. I feel so. Would Yellowstone go going? So would Yellowstone be going off? I'm going to tell you what. If you really wanted to do a game changer, I mean a true game changer, if you set a nuclear device off over Yellowstone or any of these other active super volcanoes, you're talking about a planet killer. And unfortunately, unfortunately, there's lunatics out there that would think that that was a good idea. Uh, you know, there are people ready, guys, and that have underground bunkers, that have the elites, if you will, uh, government, different governments around the world. They have things in place that they could go underground, um, for 10 years and never come above ground, and they would be fine. You know, the bunker will not save you. Well, yeah, I know what you're saying, but again, if it's a Yellowstone event, not a good thing. Yellowstone had a 4.0 magnitude earthquake the other day. Mary Greenlee News covered it. Yeah, and that happens on a regular basis. I mean, prep level. You start seeing sixes and sevens coming out of Yellowstone, be nervous. Be nervous. But yeah, war does not determine who is right, only who's left. Exactly. I want you to think about this. The majority of our population in the United States, I think, and I believe it's 70%. If I'm wrong on this figure, I but or along the coast, East Coast, West Coast, Gulf Coast, the majority of the people are on the coast. So if there was a tsunami or if there was some kind of a nuclear attack, you're talking high population density areas. And so those would be your main targets at first. Now, would they try to hit critical infrastructure? Sure. But again, we would be doing the same thing to these other countries. So, you know, countries like if we go to war and like if we're attacking Russia and China's attacking us and in Europe, the UK and that type of stuff, who's left realistically? Who survives it? And so, that's what you have to look at. That's what you have to pay attention to. And where would you be able to travel? Would you be able to travel at all? How long would it be before things were safe? Forget about going to the coast after that, and those are things that after 10 years underground they would be crazy. Not necessarily, Mary, not necessarily. There's a lot of things that can be done to make it the illusion that it's daylight. You can have like the things set up where it looks like day and night outside. They have all that type of stuff. All that technology is there. So all that stuff is there. But you just I mean, I wouldn't want to be underground for 10 years. I don't think that that would be a really good time. But if you had to go to ground for a month or two, and do what you had to do, that's fine. Where I'm located, I would be concealed if they hit Tinker Air Force Base or concerned. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tinker Air Force Base or Fort Sill. Yeah, and you just don't know. I mean, you just don't know what's going to be the targets, how many of the missiles would be taken out before they hit, and all that type of stuff. At the end of the day, realistically, at the end of the day, nobody wins. A lot of people would die, and those that survived, it would be a whole different world, a whole different world. And, those people that are prepared to go underground and do what they need to do, um, you know, will they live? Yes. Will they thrive? I can't say. I mean, I don't know what it would be like to be underground for 10 years. And I mean, what would you be doing? You know what I mean? It's not like you're just going to sit around. So I mean, you have to think about those things as well. But there's a lot to be concerned about. Um, i i'm hopeful that we would not be in a nuclear situation. That's my hope. It's always going to be my hope, because it would be so bad. Again, my biggest concern has always been and always will be, uh, you know, a grid down situation, because that's going to do the most damage to us Americans. That's going to definitely do the most damage to us. Uh, but if the planet is messed up, what do they do when they come out of the bunker too? Again, it would depend on how well prepared they were. Uh, you know, Governments are ready for that. I mean, they're ready for that. They have extensive bunkers, and not just like Cheyenne Mountain, right? So that you got that, and that the Cheyenne Mountain can like house over 2,000 people. So that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. Yeah, make sure you have lots of vitamin D. Exactly. But there's things that can be done. There probably would be forays out to see what's going on, but those of us that were left behind would not be a pretty world that we would be living in. Not at all. Not just Americans, more like North Americans. That's a whole lot of folks. Well, that's true too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would affect everybody. It would absolutely affect everybody. So, but Again, hope for the best, right? Um, but prepare for the worst. And I do believe that this is our opportunity now to put ourselves in positions to be successful. And I don't want to say if, because I don't believe it's if. I really don't. I believe it's when. And when that something happens, who knows what it's going to look like? Um, you know, you don't know. You just don't know. I'm going to share something with you, and it's going to sound kind of crazy. And but since I was a child, I you know I believe. Okay, so let me. We're going to start with this. Okay, I believe everybody's given gifts. All right, I believe everybody is given gifts. And what do I mean by that? People being able to do energy work, people that are seers, if you will, people that you know uh, empaths, all those type of things. I believe everybody is given that, and a lot of people repress them. Okay, but they're real. Sixth sense, exactly. Gut feeling, right? All those type of things. Those are gifts that we're given, and everybody has them. Now, if you have developed them and utilized them, then that's great. If you haven't, you haven't. Okay. And a lot of that, and I'm not trying to slam this, so just don't take it as what I'm saying here. A lot of it is slammed by organized religion is evil and bad. And so a lot of people will never develop it because they think that this is a bad thing, and it's not. Okay. Well, one of the things that I have been able to do since I was a child is I dream in the future. So I see things. Okay. And I had a vision, if you will, in a dream many, many, many years ago. And when I say many years ago, I'm talking before I met the kid's mom, before I had my children, any of that type of stuff. So, I mean, we're talking 25, 30 years ago. I had this vision. And in my vision, which is weird, okay? This is really, really weird because now it's not like I've manifested it and made it come true or anything like that because it's like it's something that I saw back then. But in this dream that I had, I was in the mountains somewhere. Didn't know in the dream, I didn't know where I was, and I was around a bunch of people who I didn't know who they were because obviously 25 years ago, I wouldn't know a lot of the people that I know now. Okay. But in this dream that I had, um, and and I don't know if it's a dirty bomb or it's what it is, but New York City gets nuked, okay? And it wouldn't shock me if there was some kind of a dirty bomb or something like that that would happen in New York City. But in this vision that I had, I remember in the dream, New York City had just gotten hit. And we were sitting there, and I was with this group of folks, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, I can't get back home to help my family. Okay. Not knowing, family's family. So, at that point, I didn't realize that, that might mean my kids. Okay. Um, but I realized that I was not going to be able to get back to them. And it was devastating in the dream. And, it is amazing how vivid still I remember that dream. But I ever since I got and this is guys, this is long before I ever thought about prepping, ever before I became a prepper, any of that type of stuff. But since day one, when I got into prepping, it was always about high ground. Got to have the high ground, got to control the high ground, got to be in a position where I can take care of my business and be high elevation, be safe, that if somebody's coming, they have to come to me. Okay. Is that related to that? Probably. Okay. It's my own inner workings telling me, you know, this is what you got to watch out for. You better be careful. You better be prepared and those type of things. Now, I have no idea when this is going to happen. Okay. Like I said, again, I don't make any kind of predictions like that. I'm just sharing with you something that I saw a long, long time ago. But I'm going to tell you I'm a very genuine person. I will never BS you. I'm not any kind. I'm not trying to say that I'm some kind of cleric visionary type of person. It's just something that I saw. Um, it scares me. It scares me, and it's to me, it's like that was once I got into prepping and understood prepping and the concept of everything, it was always about the high ground, always. And so Ed, you need to go to Lilydale. It's near Fredonia, New York. Okay, I don't know what you're saying about that, but again, I'm not saying I didn't want to share this with you to try to scare you or anything like that, but one of the things that it's a town of psychics. Okay, thank you. One of the things that I was always able to do with my dreams, and that was just like one example, something that I saw. I've always been able to change the scenario. So like a lot of times I won't remember, and then something will start to happen, and I'll go, oh my God, I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly how it's going to go down, and I'm able to change it. So the future's not always locked in stone. It's not like you have to follow it in a certain way, because there was things that I remember dreaming that started to happen, and I go, oh man, I remember I get in trouble here, so I changed it, and I didn't get in trouble. But I knew the sequence followed the same thing, and it was so bizarre. But that's something that I've always been able to do, and it is there's a way that I can control it so that I don't see. Okay, and I do that. Okay, because I a lot of times I don't want to see. I don't want to see what's going to happen. And but you just the drive to do what I have done over these last since what 2005 is when I started. So you're talking 18 years. Um, it is that drive has really pushed me to get me to the point where I'm at right now, and it is the best thing that I can say is this. Okay, with what the decisions that I've made in my life, in the things that I plan on doing here, moving forward, it gives me peace of mind. Now, do I believe that we're going to be in this utopia and everything is going to be beautiful and it's going to be great? No, I'm not delusional to not know how bad things will be when a true event happens. Okay, you know, so those are things that you have to think about. Those are the things that you have to prepare for. That's why we do what we do. To put yourself in a situation to give yourself the best possible chance for whatever may come. That's reality. You know what? That's reality. But yes, but big cities will be real bad off if EMP. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the whole country, Viking prepper, the whole country would be real bad off if there was an EMP, because nothing would work. Nothing would work. And so, everything that we knew and did and stuff like that, all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, we're back into the 1800s. So, yeah, it would be a huge adjustment, a huge change. And so, yeah, those are things that, but, I don't believe that it'll be an EMP either. I don't, because that would cause too much damage. And the people they don't want things destroyed. They want things as whole as they possibly can have them. I mean, you look at with what with what we can grow here in the United States. I mean, we can feed a lot of people with what we grow here. So they're not going to want that destroyed. They're going to want whoever the enemy, whoever wants what we have. They want it intact. They don't want it to you know they don't want it to be gone and destroyed, and having power plants melt down, and now there are nuclear disasters all over the country. They don't want that. They don't want that, because that ruins everything. So, I mean, if there's a grid down situation, nuclear power plants are designed to be able to be independently run. and to keep going. Okay, they may not be able to produce power to get power out there to people, but they would be able to continue to make sure that that facility was safe. So yeah, they want our resources. Exactly, Nikki's Nook. That's what they want. So the fact that Cali grows most of our items basically sucks. Again, you know what? And people say all kinds of horrible things about California, and some of it for good reason. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But you know, again, and I've said this before, California on its own, just the state of California, is the sixth largest economy in the world. Now, think about that. By itself, standing alone, California is the sixth largest economy in the world. The amount of food that is produced out of California is enormous. What is I think it's what 90%, if I'm not mistaken, of the almonds. It might be 70%, but it could be 90. So if somebody could look that up for me, I would appreciate that. But in the world that are produced come out of California, and it might be 70%. I think it's 70%. But that just gives you an idea of the impact that they have. You know, because you have because you have uh, the government that's in charge in California, and they're doing what they do. It's made the state very, very difficult to live in, just like New York State. New York State is a very difficult state to live in because the taxes are so high. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. So 80% of the almonds. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was way up there. Thank you very much for letting me know that. I appreciate that. But yeah, and plus the vineyards, yeah, you got a lot of you got a lot of wine comes out of New York State has a lot of wine though too. I will tell you that a lot of vineyards in New York State as well. But again, you know, all we can do is control what we can control. We can prepare the best way that we possibly can, do what we need to do to be ready to deal with whatever situation happens. And again, when the time comes, when the time comes, we have to work together. That's the key. That is the key, folks. You know, and I think that, yeah, California is the land of the fruits and nuts after all. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Been called that for a very, very long time. It produces 84% according to what I just looked at. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. But again, in a post event, in a true post event, there's not going to be a whole lot of trust for good reason. There's not going to be a whole lot of trust for really good reason. So again, I'm going to continue to encourage you this for you guys, and I will never stop encouraging you to do this. You have to group up. You have to get groups together. You have to get like minded people that you want to work with now. Because in a post event, you're not going to get a lot of choice. I like the shirt, Ed. Where's that from? Oh, this is, again, Spittoon Saloon and Hunt Club. Okay. And this shirt is the skate crew. And I'll show you the back. There's the skate crew. They actually have a skate park where this bar is. So, real good people again, and I'll show you the hat again. I got my hat up here. Spittoon Saloon and Hunt Club. You ever get up down to West Virginia? Look them up. Go have a drink. Eric is the owner. Good guy, and good place to hang out. So, but anyway, you all need to read 1 second after. Yeah, that series Taylor Swift. And I'm sure you're the real Taylor Swift, because why wouldn't you be? Um, it's a great series. It's very, very realistic, which is it is definitely something that people need to pay attention to because it gives a really accurate description. Get me one of those hats, said Joe said. Yeah, the next time I get up there, I'll grab one. But it's just watch the road with Christian and Bale. That's another really good, accurate description of how things would be in a post event. You know, my goal and the goal for my group and my family, okay, is not only to survive whatever's going to happen, it is to thrive on the other side. That's the goal. I mean, it's just not surviving is one thing, but to be able to thrive on that side, to be able to, you know, there's never going to be normal again. All right, let me just put that out there. There'll never be normal again. Uh, you made me want bees. I have bee envy. Oh, let me tell you. So today I had to switch out the sugar water again for them, and oh, was it Mortensen? Maybe it was. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm sorry. Vigo. Yep, I'm sorry. You're right. My bad. But The Road is a great movie. Very, very good movie. Very, very accurate. You know, but yeah, it's not normal now. Exactly. On a mission for truth. You are right. You are right about that. But the reality is, you want to try to live as normally as you can in a post event. So what does that type of normal look like, right? Being see, a lot of you guys don't get it because you don't know because you've never had to experience it, and I have. Okay, um, when I had my place in New York before I had the homestead that I have in New York, I had another property. I had 10 acres, and we built a 12 by 24 building on it, and then we built an 8 by 8 addition. We called it the shower room. Okay, and it was going to be eventually it was going to be a bathroom and a shower room and stuff like that. And I had a rain catchment system because we were so high up in the hills that was like, I'd have been looking at ridiculous amounts of money to put a well in there. All right, unlike not like here, right? So, um, but anyway, the being able to take a hot shower at the end of the day, psychologically, unless you have been without it for any length of time, you will have no idea. You will have no idea. But, when we finally got a shower set up at that particular homestead that I had, and, you'd work all day and you're sweaty and you stink and, you're just exhausted, to be able to walk in and to take that shower and to get clean psychologically, it's an unbelievable thing, and it makes a huge difference. So, you know and it's something as simple as that form of normalcy, if you will. It's important. You know what I mean? It's really important. It's one of the things actually we've been talking about down here, you know as we continue on with this here, is getting a shower room in place, so that we can take a hot shower. It's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. I mean, so it's a morality, or yeah, morality boost. Yeah, exactly. Morale booster, right? So something like that, being able to sit down and have a hot meal. You know what I mean? Being able to go to sleep and not worry about, am I going to be killed or somebody going to attack me while I'm sleeping, because you have other people watching your back and you have that trust in those people. So, it's important. It's important, and the more prepared, the more ready you are for whatever may happen, the better you're going to be in that situation. So, but anyway, so what do we got? 503 in the chat. We're at 236 on the thumbs up. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to please ask you to do so, to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that ahead of time. Again, it makes a huge difference with the algorithms. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. I've talked so much. Yeah, cleanliness also promotes health. Yeah, having a little cut, if you're not cleaning that on a regular basis, that can turn into an infection really quickly. A lot of bad things can happen. A lot of bad things can happen. So, being able to be clean is going to be really important. And, having the proper things stocked up, soap, shampoo, feminine hygiene products, you know, uh, Are they going to last forever? No, but they're going to get you through a very, very tough time in the beginning, and it's going to make things better. Where a lot of people are not going to have that luxury, if you will, of being able to take a shower, to be able to wash up. I mean, let's look at clothing. Let's look at clothing. No more going to the store. You know, so what do you have stocked up that way? Yeah, wound care. Wound care is going to be hugely important. Making sure you have enough medical supplies. Hey, Freddie left you. Hey, I went into a local Wegmans today. I couldn't believe all the self checkouts that have been installed. They're morphing. No cash accepted at them. Yeah, it is. I'll give you a good example. Thank you very much, Freddie, for the donation, and thank you for the statement. Uh, Steve and I today, he wanted to do some. We had to do some run around, and he wanted to go grocery shopping, and so I wanted to grab a couple things myself. So we went to Walmart, right? Well, I'll tell you what. I will not do the self checkout. Not gonna do the self checkout. I go into a line. I don't care how long the line is. I'll wait my turn, and I will have a cashier check me out. They'll only have a couple of cashiers on, and they have all those self checkouts on both ends of Walmart. Okay, and and people use them. Well, it's easy and it's convenient. Like Steve was asking me. He goes, "What if you only had a gallon of milk?" And there was people had big carts full of stuff. I said, "I don't care, man." I said, "I don't work at Walmart. It's not my job. I'm not doing their job. All right. If you think it's convenient, then great. Knock yourself out. I could care less. You got to do what you got to do. But I'm not going to do their job for them. They're not paying me to do it, so I'm not going to do it. You know. So it just yeah, people will need to modify their clothes as they start to drop weight from eating less. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, Angela. I mean, you figure what we wear now, right? We have a tendency to be a larger group of people in this country. Well, when you're not going to be able to eat the way that you ate before, and you're going to lose weight, and so yeah, clothes are going to have to be modified. There's no doubt about that. And clothes are going to wear out. Look at now, clothes wear out. A lot of people they're buying new clothes all the time, and so I know that what I've done for last several years, uh, I'll go through, like if I got a stack of shirts, right? Like let's say I have 40 T-shirts. I'm just going to use that as an example, and I'm making up a number. I don't have 40 T-shirts, but what I will do with those shirts is I will go through them, and I'll do it about twice a year, so about once every 6 months. I'll go, okay, if I have not worn it in the last 6 months, I'm probably not going to wear it, right? So that's kind of what I do. So I go through, and anything that I haven't worn in the last 6 months goes into this other pile. And then what I normally been like in New York, what I do with that, I put it in a garbage bag, and I put it up on top in the loft and set it aside. It can be used as other things down the road. It can be used for patching, any of those type of things. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think it's, it could be used for bandages, whatever you need to use it for. So, but again, things wear out. They're not going to last forever. And at some point, what's going to happen is, we're going to be back to, the 1800s where we're hunting deer, skinning them, getting that, the skins and using that rabbit, having rabbit. That's why having rabbits is so important. That fur can be turned into a whole lot of different things, everything from underwear to whatever you need, whatever you need. So those are things that you got to think about as well. It's all about planning. It's all about, you know, never going to remember everything. And I'm sure there's going to be things that in a post event, I'll look back and I'll go, crap, I can't believe I forgot that. But, I think that I've done pretty decently. I try to think of everything that I may need and try to put it in a situation where I can do that. I want to get rabbits down here fairly soon. Again, there's a lot. I want to get chickens again. I want to get them down here because the more of these things that we have in place, it's less that we have to worry about later on. And that's kind of the way that I look at it. So I'm glad that I have an entire room full of fabric and 3 sewing machines. That's a good thing. That is not a bad thing at all. So, you know, I'm saving all containers, glass, heavy plastic, etc. I have room. Why not? I'll show you. I'm going to show you something. When you just said that, I'll show you something. Now, I haven't rinsed it out yet, okay? But I used up this jar of mayonnaise. There's a little bit of residuals on the side and stuff like that, but that's a great container. That's a great container. I could store all kinds of stuff in here. I could store, rice, whatever I wanted to store in here. So to me, why am I going to throw this out? Why am I going to burn this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash it out. I'm going to dry it, and I'm going to utilize this for something. And of course, it's Hellman's because I love Hellman's. But yeah, so that's what I do. That's exactly how I do it. And that is something that is there. It's you can utilize it over and again and stuff like that. Wine bottles, you can save those as well. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, there's you got to think outside the box because I'll tell you right now, when a true SHTF event happens, folks, you will forge, you will be out there, and you'll go into a house that's been cleaned out. Right? They've taken everything, they cleaned everything out, or they thought they got everything that was worth something. But there's always going to be something in there worth something. So those are things that you have to think about. I'm going to send you a scraper so you can get every last bit of Hellman's out of the big jar. Well, I appreciate that. That'd be awesome. Thank you. All right. It is that time, and it is egg count time. Yes, somebody's already putting it out there. Thank you. I just looked up and I'm like, okay, it is definitely egg count time. So before we do the egg count, we're at 510 in the chat. We're at 272 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you again to please do that to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. And very much appreciated. Again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, the better. Let's do this. Let's call it. Well, it's a realistic. Let's say 400. Let's see if we can hit 400 thumbs up. We're at 382. I don't think there's any reason why we can't hit 400 thumbs up. So let's shoot that as a goal. So how many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck. So I'm counting them as of now. We'll start with Dawn there. Give you guys a moment to get your guesses, and we will go from there. Still raining pretty good out there too. Been off and on all day. It started raining last night, but it's definitely been off and on. Okay, if you had the same exact guess as Dale from Ohio with 7 eggs today, and yes for Miss Thickneck, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations, Dale. You have the right number, and you've won absolutely nothing except for bragging rights. So Dale from Ohio is the winner with 7 eggs, and yes for Miss Thickneck. So congratulations, Dale. So, all right, let's get back to the calm before the storm. I want to really talk about that a little bit more. You know, this is an opportunity now to do something, to prepare yourself, to do any little bitty thing that's going to give you that edge. And I'm going to continue to encourage you to do that. Hopefully, one day that you'll think of me fondly and say, "Man, I'm glad I listened to Prepper Nurse One," you know, and because of my advice and what I've said, maybe that makes a difference. You know, I'm hoping it does. I'm going to always encourage you not to be victims. I think that that's hugely important. I don't want you guys to be victims. I want you to be proactive to help yourselves, to help your families, especially if you have children, because in a true event, you are going to be in so much trouble. And the last thing you want to worry about is, are my kids being fed or not? So if you are prepared and you're ready, and you put yourself in that situation, your kids, your grandkids, whoever they may be, I think it's really, really important. So, but I think that just put yourself in that situation to win. Remember, again, and some of you may not like it, but it's a game. It is absolutely 100% a game. So where we up to 309. So the goal's 400, guys. We're at 309, and the goal is 400 thumbs up. So don't give up. Again, don't become despondent. Don't let them get you down. Don't let them beat you up. Don't let them sit there and make you go, oh, it's too late. I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do. That's not true. As long as you're working at it, as long as you're putting yourself in a situation, again, remember this, and this is simple. This is the easiest thing to think about. If you have a 2 week supply of just food and water, we're not even talking about anything else, but just a 2 week supply of food and water available to you, okay? You have such an advantage over other people to the point 93% of people do not have. Just watch Israel News Live, and things look they're going to speed up um, this June through October. It wouldn't shock me, cowgirl in Arizona. Wouldn't shock me. I think it's a matter of time. I think it's a matter of time. So, but again, you know, 93% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2 week disaster. So if you do nothing else, and I did the $10 a week series, guys, $10 a week series, I did 11 weeks of that to show you how really it is very simple on a very small budget to prepare. And it's not hard. It's not hard at all. And most people can afford more than $10 a week, So again, preparation, planning, putting yourself in a position to win, having a game plan, hugely, hugely important. Know what you're going to do. The last thing you want to do, let's say, I'll give an example. Okay, tomorrow we wake up and the world has changed forever because of XYZ event. Who knows what that event would look like? But it's the end of the world as we know it. Now you got choices to make. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I always used to like to use the scenario. Um, yeah, I saw that Jerry Springer died. The guy was 79. Harry Belafonte just died too. He was 96. So yeah. So, but what are you going to do? What's your plan, right? So if you have a plan in place and you've already got it figured out, you know what you're going to do, you know where you're going to go, even if that's staying home, but you know what you have to do to get those things squared away. You do them. You won't even think about it. It won't even be like, God, should I do this or should I do that? What should I do? I'm not sure. It's going to be automatic. Most people, and I'm going to tell you right now, that don't have a plan, that don't have anything in place, that are not ready, they are going to panic. They're going to be losing their minds. They're going to be running around with no idea what they're going to do, with no plan, lost, absolutely lost. But you, because you're prepping, because you're getting ready, because you've been planning this, you've been planning ahead, you've been thinking ahead, all you're doing is going through the motions of what your plan is. And I'm going to tell you what, that is a huge advantage because you're not going to be running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You're going to be like, okay, this is what I got to do first. This is what I got to do second. This is what I have to do third. Can a prepper take a vacation? Absolutely, John. Absolutely. You don't, okay, let me just put it like this, okay? You don't stop living your life just because you're a prepper. SHTF is going to happen one day to all of us. Be it a true big, huge event or something small event that affects you directly, something that affects your town, something that affects your state, whatever the case may be. You look at, the car derailment with the chemicals. That's an SHTF event for those folks that were right near there. Okay, that is for them. That is an SHTF event. Now it may not have affected a lot of the rest of us, but for them, that is an SHTF event. You cannot stop living your life. I still go on vacation. Went to Sturgis 2 years ago, right? Everybody saw that. I talked about it. I did videos when I was out there, all that type of stuff. I'm not ever going to stop living my life. I'm not going to hide up in the mountains and wait for the end of the world to come. I'm not going to do it. Now, when I travel, when I go someplace, am I prepared to a degree? Absolutely, I am. Okay, I do what I have to do, and you man, it rain's really coming down out there now. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but it's really coming down. Um, yeah, I took a trip prior to that as well. I've gone and traveled when Josh was in college down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Me and the kids went down there. I've made other trips as well. So I'm not ever going to stop living my life. I prepare, I get ready, something happens. Now, I've been fortunate enough, I will say this, I've been fortunate enough being in a position that I am, meeting a lot of people, talking to a lot of people. If I'm out on the road and something happens, I have options. I do. I'm very lucky in that aspect, and I will tell you that 100 million times. Very, very fortunate. I know a lot of people, and I know that if I was in certain parts of West Virginia, I know where I would need to go. If I was in another area of the country, I know other people and I know where I would need to go. So I've been very, very fortunate in that aspect to have networked, met a bunch of people, and yeah, build a life you don't need a vacation from. Well, it's always nice. I'm going to tell you what. And yep, I've been to Devil's Tower. Yep, Grand Canyon. I've gone to the Grand Canyon. Uh, I have been out in California. I've been in Vegas several times. Went through the oh God, what's the desert out there in California? Lowest point in the country. It's 400 feet below sea level. What's that desert area there? I can't even think of it. I'm going blank in my brain. Death Valley. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Yes, I've been to Death Valley. I've been to San Francisco. I've been to different parts of California. I've been to San Diego. I've traveled all over the place. I'm not ending my life and stop doing things. There's so many beautiful things to see in this country, and I'm going to tell you, I will tell you too. Live your life, especially if you're young. Travel, see things, go and check it out. We have this huge, huge country. You don't realize how big it is until you're out there on those roads driving it and stuff like that. Go see things. Even if you're doing a day trip, in a day trip, you can get a good distance and go see things that you never would expect to see. I mean, there's so much beautiful things in this country. We're really, really lucky. Really, really lucky. I mean, you go over to Europe, and within a couple of hours, you can be in another country. You could be driving in New York State for a couple of hours, or Pennsylvania. Anybody that's traveled Pennsylvania knows exactly what I'm talking about. Driving for a couple of hours, and you're still in Pennsylvania, or you're still in New York. So, I mean, we have some huge, huge states. And then if you get up along the coast, and there's a lot of smaller states up there, but you can't stop living your life. You can't stop living. You have to continue to live your life, enjoy your life, see the things that you want to see. Don't say, "Oh, I'm going to wait till I'm older and I'm going to travel when I get older," because there's no guarantee, folks. I cannot tell you the number of people that I have taken care of through the years, being a nurse, that said, "Yeah, traveling through Texas, exactly. Texas is huge." Um, that told me, they said, "Ed, we had this grand plan and we were going to do this and we're going to do all this traveling, so we worked hard our whole lives and we saved our money, and we didn't do anything, and then John got sick and all the money that we saved went for his care, and they said it was a wasted life. It was a wasted life because they didn't get that opportunity." And so, to me, while you're young, while you have your health, get out there, see different things, check different things out. I mean, when I went to South Dakota to go to Sturgis a couple years ago, I'd never been through Minnesota. I'd never been into Wyoming. I'd never been in South Dakota. You know, I'd never been to any of those areas. So, and then doing it on a motorcycle is even better. If you get that chance, I would tell you that right now. It's amazing. But again, you know, being able to see this country, and you would think, oh well, people from different places are going to act different or they're going to treat you different. They may, you know, I had people come up to me and say, where are you from? And I would say, oh, I'm from New York. And they would be like, oh, okay, because I can hear the, the accent. Well, to me, I don't have an accent. You know what I mean? So, but and there's so many good people out there. There's so many good people. All you see, of course, unfortunately, in the news, I always used to like to call the news the death news because everything was negative, everything was terrible, what awful things people were doing to each other. But I will tell you this: there's so many good people out there. There's awesome people. They will help you out. I'll give you an example of something. So, me and Randy were out in um, South Dakota, and we had gone up to oh God, we're up in this one town, and so we were traveling back. We're trying to get back to Rapid City. All right, we got turned around. We are completely lost. Completely lost. We're on the motorcycles. It's the middle of the night. So we had stopped and we're trying to figure out where we are, number one. This reception wasn't great. We have no idea where we are. So this car comes up. Now you got two bikers, right? Two big bikers on motorcycles. And it was a woman and her husband, and they were like, where are you guys going? And I said, we're trying to get back to Rapid City. She goes, oh, well, okay, this is what you got to do. She said, continue traveling down this road until you hit your next right. She goes, it's going to be a while. She goes, you hit your next right, take that. Again, it's going to be a while. And you're going to take that until you can pick up what, and I can't remember the name of the highway or what number the highway was again. You'll pick that up and you got to go all the way back. So we ended up traveling down this road probably another 5 miles before that right hand turn. Took the right. Again, now we ended up traveling like 12 to 15 miles, on this road until we hit the highway. And then once we got on the highway, we ended up, going. Then we knew where we were, and then we were still like another 20 miles. We had passed it by like 20 miles. That's how lost we were. But these people, just being genuinely decent people, stopped and helped us. Otherwise, I have no idea where we would have ended up. No idea. But that's how it is. The reality is most people are decent people. They really truly are. So, yeah, lots of open area out there. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, we got to do shout outs because, of course, we're behind. Imagine that. What a shock. What are we at here? We're at 340 on the thumbs up. We need 60 more thumbs up to hit our goal of 400 thumbs up, guys. Can we do that? I don't know. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. We got about, 20 minutes left in the chat. So let's see if we can hit that 400 thumbs up, and I do appreciate that ahead of time. Again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more we can get, the better. Thank you. And also, again, if you're not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications. So let's keep them coming up there. Let's hit that 400 number. All right, first we got Icky Can up in Canada. Real nice guy, very laid back, living off grid as well. So definitely check him out. You have Angry Prepper, and that is Jason down in New York City. There is Alaska Prepper, and that's Rudy, obviously up in Alaska. You have Alaska Granny as well. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel and myself, Reliance. I don't know if you guys have been watching his stuff. He thinks he has Giardia because of drinking water that he didn't boil enough because of the beaver stuff. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but so he's been pretty sick. You have Demcad, another really good guy, definitely somebody to check out. You have Corporal's Corner. There is Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizarriza Jizza. You have Marfugal News, Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. There is Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wranglestar, and that is Cody. Really good channel. A lot of good information on his channel. There's Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily. There's Kyle's Cabin. That's Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota doing their thing. A nice young couple. Definitely go show them some support as well. There is Bush Radical and Grow in the Woods, husband wife team. They split their time between Alaska and Michigan. Nice couple, a lot of good information with them as well. There is Green Greg's, a lot of good gardening information with Green Greg's. Southern Prepper One with his Boots on the Ground series, a lot of good information he's giving people, giving them information. You have Gray Man Prepping. There is St. Bernard Acres with Joe. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around a long time as well, so I definitely would ask you to support them as well. You have the Nomadic Movement. They're down in Panama, nice young couple down there. You have the Green Dream Project, another couple living in the Arizona desert, showing you how it is done out there. You have Camping with Steve Wallace, doing stealth camping. Real good guy, very laid back. A lot of fun to watch. He's more fun to watch than anything else. Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time, a really good channel, a lot of good information, especially when it comes to canning and cooking and those type of things. Boss of the Swamp, again, been around a long time, a lot of good information, real good builder as well. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond's a good guy, very, very smart. Definitely worth a listen to. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. There is Suspicious Observer, giving you all the information of what's going on out there in space, which is pretty neat. You have Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. Another good guy. Definitely support him as well. Mary Greeley News. She gives you all the information on Yellowstone, whatever's happening there, and all that type of stuff. The earthquakes. Fun to watch her as well. Very informative. When she talks about underreporting of earthquakes at Yellowstone, I find that quite fascinating. Not saying that they are, not saying that they're not. Let me just put that out there. We have Adapt 2030. There is Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy that you need to get your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a great guy, gives back to the community big time, and I think we should support his channel. There is Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand as well. He gives you the information, and then he lets you decide what you want to do with that information. So I think that that's important as well. You have Deep South Homestead. There is The Outsider. You have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. You have Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's. The Prepared Mind, formerly of California. You have Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness. You have the Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. I'm sure there's a lot of other channels that you guys put in the chat, which is fine. I can't give a shout out to every single person, but we should be supporting each other. I think that that is important. And so that's why I do the shout outs. Again, a lot of people have no idea who I am. I've never talked to them, but I think they have good channels. And I think that, like I said, again, it's getting different information from different viewpoints from different parts of the country. I think is a really good thing. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So what do we at 373? Okay, so we 374. So we need 26 more thumbs up, guys, for our goal. That's much more doable. Let's see if we can get that up there. Let's get 26 more thumbs up to hit 400 thumbs up. So again, like I said, it's we definitely should be supporting each other. I think that that is important. I know that I would totally miss my heating pad if I could not use it. Oh, there's so many creature comforts that we all have. And again, you can kind of prep for that to a degree as well. Hey, Carol, she says hello from Scotland. Glad to have you in the house. But yeah, Okie Forge just said, find channels that work for you and help you, and please don't troll the others. Exactly. If I've recommended a channel and you don't like the channel, just don't watch it. Just don't watch that channel. You know what I mean? It's not everybody's flavor. It's not everybody's slice of cake. But find the ones that you like, support the ones that you like, and that's great. I think that that's important. There's enough trolls out there, believe me. They have their They're more dedicated, honestly, than anybody else, which is crazy. Hakeem says your channel works for me. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that. You know, but like I said, there is a lot of good information when it comes to building. I mean, some of these guys, like Boss of the Swamp, he definitely knows what he's doing. Uh, you know, uh, there's so many good channels out there. That when you watch these guys build and you go, man, they make it look so easy. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, but it's cool. It's absolutely cool to see. Don't the trolls realize that they help the channel they hate by watching and commenting? Oh yeah, they do. And somebody just said something the other day to me, and they said about trolls. Basically, they said they hate you, but they keep coming back for more. And I just thought that that was funny. You know what I mean? Because they do. They can't. They hate you to. What is an algorithm? What the algorithms do is it for your channel. It pushes if you're getting more views on a video, it'll push you out there into YouTube land more. And so the interaction with comments, the interaction with thumbs up or thumbs down, that is all action, and that helps the channel. And so that's why I talk about the algorithm. So it's like eating sour candy. Oh my God, that's so funny. That is too funny. I like that. But so you know what, guys? Life is so short, and if you take that energy that people put into negativity and put it into positivity, they could get so much more done. They really could, and that's what amazes me a lot of times. Um, I've always said, the people that work on scamming the system, as an example, if they put half that effort that they use to scam the system into actually working, they would be highly successful. But they would rather try to, play the game and get over and all that type of stuff. And it's sad, really, to be honest with you. So we're at 390. We need 10 more thumbs up. 10 more guys. Let's hit that 400 number. We got this. I know you guys got it. So anyway, we are Legion because we are many. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? So let's do that. We have Montreal, Quebec, Canada with Daniel, Connecticut with Awesome Sauce, Ulster Park, New York with Francine, Franklin County, Ohio, Pipestem, West Virginia with Troy, New Mexico with Nate, Hillsboro, Oregon, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house, uh, BC, Canada. We have Northwest Oregon, Georgia's in the house, Waterloo, New York with Sharon, Union City, Pennsylvania with Richard, Tennessee is in the house, Leesburg, Florida with Joan, the beautiful Pennsylvania Wilds with Pennsyltucky Granny, Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, Sullivan, Indiana, Milton Keyes in England. Very nice. Linda, glad to have you here. Thanks for staying up to watch with us. We have Maryland, Missouri and the Ozarks with Delbert, Troutman, North Carolina with Troy, Charlotte County, Florida, Central Illinois with Mary, Lana in East Central Illinois, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. We got Morgan from Texas, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Southwest Ohio with Barbara, Donna from Hollywood, Florida, Northwest Oregon. We have Western New York with Karen. We got Scotland in the house with Carol. Glad to have you here. Bay of Islands, Newfoundland with Mar. Winston-Salem, North Carolina with just me. Brian in Omaha, Nebraska. Let's see. We have Nebraska's in the house with Kyle. Arkansas with Carrie. Clearfield, Pennsylvania. We have Tucson, Arizona with Angela. Village Homestead in Central New York. Fox Lake, Illinois with Sharon. Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. We got Scotland in the house with Carol. West Central Ohio. The UP of Michigan with Dawn. Scott County, Virginia. Let's see. Vancouver Island points east with Prep Rebel. Western New York with Roe. Central Wisconsin with John. Black Mountain, North Carolina, the Lamb's Light. We got Cincinnati with Mike. Georgia in the mountains with Hakeem. You know who I haven't seen, guys? Where is my boy from Australia? I didn't see him in the last couple streams. I hope he's okay. Let's see. Oh, here we are. 401 on the thumbs up, too. That's awesome. See, I know you guys could do it. You guys are great. Yeah, Philip. Where is Philip? I haven't seen Philip lately. Last couple streams he hasn't been in. Well, I hope he's okay on Sundays. Yeah, but he's a lot of times he comes in on Friday too. I know a lot of times he misses Wednesday, but a lot of times he comes in on Friday. So, Ed, are you tired tonight? Yes, yes. I did not sleep well last night, and then I got up and I was running around today, and then so I was having issues. Yeah, Asif as well. Yeah, Asif. Well, Asif's been crazy busy. I know that. I know he's been really busy. We got Taylor from Tennessee. So yeah, Asif and I text back and forth quite a bit, guys. Well, I got to tell you, so what happened here? I had um, was not getting texts. Tried to send some texts, they weren't going out. So I actually call Verizon, and they got it fixed for me. But I don't know how many texts I missed. But it happens. What are you going to do? So anyway, I want to thank guys, my moderators, who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. You ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, you are the best. I really appreciate you. It means a lot to me. It really, really does. And that's it's just it's awesome that you guys volunteer your time and you're in here. So I appreciate that. I want to thank all you guys for being here as well. I appreciate the support of the channel, and thank you very much for being here, being part of this. I hope we all learned something. I know I learn things all the time, and people give me great advice, and I think that that is awesome. And I get bad advice too. So, but that's okay. That's all part of it. I have to process out, and I will tell you what, I will always be the first one to jump on here and say I made a mistake, I screwed up. It's just like with the beehive, the bottom rack I had upside down, and I had somebody that was watching the channel that is also from West Virginia, by the way, and they shot me an email and said, "Hey, man, that bottom rack is upside down. You got to fix that." And so, that means a lot to me. It really does, because again, I don't know everything. I'm learning, trying to add a new skill, in here, and I think that's all we can do. Try to make yourself uh, more viable, especially when an SHTF event happens. If you know how to make shoes and nobody else knows how to make shoes, you're worth a ton. You're worth a ton. You're worth your weight, in gold, being able to have that skill to be able to make a difference. And I think that that's important. Ed, why do you need the sugar water? I have no idea about beekeeping, but I was wondering. Okay, Donna, great question. What the sugar water does when a hive is just starting out, like the hive that I just put in on Monday, they're just starting out. Okay, worth your weight in shoes, exactly. Um, they need that energy to focus on building the hive. So what they do, the 10 racks that are in there, they will build them out, and that's where the eggs are laid. That's where the honey is stored. So they're busy. They're very, very busy, and they got a lot of work to do. And so that's they're taking care of the queen and all that type of stuff. So you give them the sugar water for a new hive like that, so that they can build up their what they got to build, so that they can make a store of honey down the road here, and they will eventually go out and they will get honey from locally as well. But while they're building that out, they need the help. And so that if you want your hive to be successful, that's what you need to do. So that's why it's 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of water. I mix them together. I'll usually do it the night before, and so I get it all ready. And then I'll like tomorrow I'll go up and I'll look and I'll be able to see where they're at, what the how high it is, And if it looks like I need to add more, then I'll get the sugar water ready and I will take it up there and I'll pour whatever's left in that one into the new jar and just rotate it out. And so, obviously, I'm going to be keeping an eye on things 2 to 3 weeks, and I will be adding the second box. So the second box I already have. I still have to paint that yet. I don't think we're supposed to have rain tomorrow, so that's going to be on my agenda tomorrow is to do that and get that going. But yeah, it's really fun. It's cool. No, I have not been stung yet. Will it happen? Most likely. you know, you're messing with bees. Eventually, you're probably going to get stung. But it's like they are, they know. I think it's weird. I don't even know how to explain this, but they know I'm not there to hurt them. So that's pretty neat. So, but anyway, um, remember, guys, we are truly all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. It's really important that we work together, that we come together as human beings. We have to stop letting them divide us. They use race, religion, political affiliation. These are all tools to keep us fighting amongst each other. They mean nothing. They're nothing. They don't mean a thing. If we can come together as human beings, there would be no stopping what we can accomplish. And that's what we need to do. We need to come together. So, excuse me. Also, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goal is you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. All right. I hope you all have a great night. Be safe. And yes, and I am on Rumble now as well, Prepper Nurse One on Rumble. I haven't put any exclusive content up on Rumble yet, but I do plan on doing so. So, been a little busy. So, but yes, there's some things that I definitely want to talk about over on Rumble. So definitely join me over there. The videos are going up over there as well, but I will definitely be making some exclusive content for over there. All right, guys, have a great night, and I will see you on the next one. Prepper Nurse One out for now.